The Chicago Bears are back at Hallis Hall reporting for rookie minicamps. The Bears' rookies, undrafted free agents, and minicamp invites have all been back at Hallis Hall for the last few days. First, they're installing new concepts on offense and defense. It was their first time these guys got to practice as Chicago Bears. Today was about as light as it gets when it comes to practices. There were no veterans in the mix, but a couple of last year's rookies who never saw the field were also there as well. Players such as Austin Reed, Theo Benedict, linebacker Carl Jones, Caleb Williams' best friend, wideout John Jackson, and a couple of others. There was no Ian Wheeler at rookie camp, though. He's still recovering from that torn ACL, and considering he wasn't ready for these rookie camps yet, I think we should temper expectations on Ian Wheeler until we can see him on the field. But we had 8 draft picks, 10 undrafted free agents, 6 returning players, and 23 rookies invited for these mini camp tryouts. On total, there were 47 players on hand. Joining Austin Reed, there was one more quarterback, Matthew Downing, who comes from Elon University. Yeah, you heard that right. The new coaches were mostly just doing position drills and installs with the rookies and kind of seeing where these guys are at physically. Our new head coach is just introducing concepts to these players. He said they didn't run a single play or get into the playbook at all. He also said with some of these rookies working their way back from injuries, he wanted to start practice out slower than usual and allow some of the other guys to catch up. One of the first things people are already noticing about this coaching staff is they already seem more strict. Players are already getting lectured and coached up in their very first practice. And guys like Eric Bieniemy are going to help set the tone all the way through training camp. Some of our rookies also talked to the media today as well. Let's go ahead and get into my biggest takeaways from these press conferences. The first player to speak to the media was our first round pick of the draft, the tight end out of Michigan. Colston Loveland said he's a big fan of Ben Johnson. He said he's not just a nice guy. He's determined and ready to go, and he already loves his coaching style. And this is a guy who was coached by Jim Harbaugh in college. Our new tight end is a hard worker, and he loves to put in extra work in the offseason. He said he's already planning to get together with Caleb Williams and the receivers to put in some extra work this summer. On the downside here, Ben Johnson did make a comment that Loveland is not 100% yet. He was on the field doing some solo work, but our coach said this is a guy who's going to need some time in the weight room. That's something to watch out for as we approach training camp. Next up is Luther Burden. He's entering the NFL with a big chip on his shoulder. He said it's staying with him forever and that everyone who passed on him's got to pay. His words actually gave me chills. But he did say he's already spoke to DJ Moore and Rome Odunze, and he said they're all excited to work together. He said he's super excited to work in Ben Johnson's offense. But there is another thing I wanted to talk about with Luther Burden. I'll say as much as I want to get one of his jerseys, I definitely could see him changing his number, maybe even before the season. When asked why he chose number 87, he said all of the good numbers are gone. Let's remember now, Luther's nickname is LB3. And I've heard rumblings from fans who want to unretire number 3, but I think it's more likely that Luther could end up with jersey number 13. Currently, that number is worn by wide receiver Maurice Alexander. He's a 28-year-old receiver who played in Detroit in 2022 and has one career reception for 7 yards. Right now, he's a long shot to make this roster, so when he gets cut, that number is going to open up. I could definitely see Luther switching to number 13. That's something to keep an eye out on as we get into training camp. When it comes to Ozzie Trapillo, though, Ben Johnson said he's exactly what he expected to get out of him. Obviously, jobs will not be won and lost in the trenches until pads come on in training camp. That's something I have to remind people of every year. There will be no jobs won in the trenches on the offensive or defensive line when people are practicing in shorts and t-shirts. That's just common sense. That being said, though, Ozzie seems so intelligent and well-versed. He said he's going to do whatever he can to get on the field early, but he also realizes how much he needs to learn. One of the bigger things he talked about, though, is that he's been working out at left tackle every single year since his freshman season. He would do it in the off season, he would do it in off weeks, and he would even take days of and he would work on playing both sides and staying versatile. He's a smart guy, and he knew that playing on both sides would actually make him more versatile. He could have stayed at left tackle at Boston College, but the coaches thought that moving him to the right side and putting him next to their best offensive lineman, who was Chris Mahogany, a guy that got drafted a year or two ago, together they formed a dominant right side at Boston College. And then Ozzie ended up staying there his third season as well. But this is a guy who's comfortable on both sides, and he practices a ton at left tackle. I've been saying it literally since the moment we drafted him. Trapillo will be getting reps at left tackle while Braxton works his way back from that offseason surgery. Both Ozzie and Karan Amagaji are going to be competing at left tackle over the next 2 months. That's going to be something to keep a close eye on until we get to camp. Onto the defensive side, Shamar Turner seems like such a cool guy. Instead of taking the cart to practice like all the other players, he walked the field just to take it all in. This is a guy who knows how special it is to be where he's at right now. He said he will line up anywhere Dennis Allen wants him to, and he's going to be successful in any spot. He said he loves playing everywhere on the D line, not just inside and not just at edge either. When asked about his weight, though, he said the Bears don't want him to go over 300 pounds, and they would like him to stay around 290 to 295 for camp. So we definitely beefed up our defensive line with this addition, especially when he gets reps outside of DE. This is a guy who can set the edge against the run, and he brings upside as a pass rusher. Shamar Turner, this is a guy I really like. And then we get to our speedy linebacker, Ruben Hippolyte. And Ben Johnson pretty much just came out and said it. This is a guy who will be competing for that third linebacker spot. Dennis Allen has a prototype that he wants at the position, and he wants speed, which is good for the rookie linebacker. But Ben Johnson also said the position is wide open, and he likes what he's seen from Noah Sewell, a guy who's been at Hallis Hall working out over the last few weeks, recovering from an injury. Don't forget about Noah Sewell. Meanwhile, not much was said about Luke Newman or Zay Frazier, but I expect both to be good developmental picks. And when it comes to the running backs in camp, you can see Kyle Monungai, Deion Hankins, and Christian Grubb even just running the drills. It's clear to me that Monungai was easily the most talented guy out there. Definitely one of my sleepers for 2025. My favorite takeaway from today, though, might have been just how great Ben Johnson is with the media. Our media has always been known to ask some odd questions, and Ben is just so smart and he handles these questions so well. He shuts down the stupid rumors and he answers questions directly. I think fans are going to really like Ben Johnson. And when it comes to the player interviews, Ozzie Trapillo will be a fan favorite for an offensive lineman. And then I think Luther Burden and Shamar Turner are also going to end up being extremely likable players. This entire rookie class is pretty darn likable. It's good that the Bears are back at Hallis Hall, though. Rookie mini camps do continue tomorrow, and I have a ton more coverage on the way as well. I appreciate everyone who watches. Stay tuned, guys. Turn on those notifications so you don't miss out. Hit that like button for me, and until next time, bear down.